Welcome to this episode of the MoveMint Medicine podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the previous episodes. We really appreciate your continued support with the podcast. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like and share the Facebook page, and continue to share with your friends, your family, and your colleagues. We thank our partners for the podcast, as the Fit India Movement, the Back to Fitness Clinic, which is the clinic that Rajat runs, the Ultra the High, which is the race that Rajat puts together in Ladakh, and also the Moving Mountains Within Film, which is the film about the 10th edition of La Ultra the High. So I'll hand over to Rajat, who will introduce today's guest.
Thank you, Darren, and thank you everyone for signing in to yet another episode of MoveMint Medicine. Today we have Dr. Swarnalatha from Hyderabad. Thank you, ma'am, for coming on board.
Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, viewers also.
Ma'am, please tell us about your academic and professional background.
I'm basically a nephrologist. So I did my, the medical training in Andhra Pradesh, that is in Tirupati, and then my super specialty at Nizam System Medical Sciences in the year 2006. So since then, I'm practicing as a nephrologist at the same institute as a faculty. So it's one of the biggest institute in India. I can say one of the largest nephrology department. We have around 8 students per year, DM nephrology students. So we train them every year. So we have at any time we have 24 nephrology students. So it's a big department. As I said, we have around 200 OPD patients coming with different kidney problems, and we have around 60 dialysis machines in our unit. So we dialyze around 500 patients every regularly on a dialysis. And then we do transplants also regularly. So we do kidney transplants around 120 per year. Apart from this, being a nephrologist, because I'm into transplantation, I know in and about the transplantation. So I'm also heading another program called Jivandan. This is a disease donor transplantation program for the government of Telangana. So it's been one of the successful model for the entire country. So and we have a maximum donation rate of around 3 per million population. So as you can see, there's a huge demand for the organs. So a lot of people, thousands, they are dying because of lack of organs. So through this transplantation program, it's a common platform where people can register for various organs, including kidney, liver, heart, and various other organs. And we have a networking with all the hospitals, and we find the brain dead patients, we counsel, and then we convince them for organ donation. That's how we try to provide a platform for this. So basically, I'm into an academic institute with a lot of, the clinical challenges of huge, ever increasing kidney patients in present days.
Thank you for the introduction to your professional background. Please can you tell us about your fitness and exercise journey? Have you always been active since a child? And what kind of things do you do now?
So basically, this is about my present profession. If I, look back how my schooling was, I did my schooling from, the one of the central school that's called as Crane Devi Vidyalaya Central School. So basically, I'm very fortunate to have my education there because that they stress not on the education but on your sports. So we have all sorts. We used to have also a lot of sports. We used to play, and we have football, volleyball, you name the game, we used to be, play all games. So that's how the importance was given to, sports rather than the education. So, and my father being a defense, so we had a very discipline in our lives. So that's how it, the fitness, the concept of fitness started much earlier in our lives at the school age itself. So I just remember I used to throw our, the moment we come home from school, we used to throw our books and then go to the playgrounds. So even at home, so because that was military, it was the cantonment area. So we used to have huge grounds with with a lot of trees, and we used to have that that much of space to we don't find that space. We find only buildings with all sort of concrete jungle. So we used to have fresh air, lot of playgrounds, and that's how we started our childhood with the concept of fitness and sports. So that's how my school days went on. But unfortunately, when I joined medicine, so because probably the discipline, we had a discipline in life that made me join medicine. Fortunately, and I can say unfortunately in terms of the fitness. That's when I lost, the fitness. Though we were stressed out and we had a lot of clinical challenges, academic issues, we were, you need to be bookish. You need to always have, a book in front of you, reading all the time, and then night duties. We never had a sound sleep. We never had a food on time. So that's how there was some break, and then we were completely involved into the academics. Then I realized, I mean, the medicine, so huge, like it takes years and more than a decade. That's how almost 10 to 15 years of my life went on preparing for my MBBS. Then we had a general med, broad specialty general medicine, and immediately after that we had a super specialty. And at every level we have to clear the entrances, preparing for entrance, sitting with a book. That took a lot, and then though I don't say I became obese, but I lost my fitness. So once this DM nephrology was over, then I realized that we should, get back into that. I was feeling that I was missing something in my life. And we got so stressed out with the patients also. Is very challenging in nephrology. We have patients coming with pulmonary edema always. We have emergency like 24/7. So then we thought we should have something, balancing life, Then we have restarted, and then I came across, we had our Hyderabad runners group. So we joined them and started running. They trained us, we have a training schedule, proper training schedule. So I got back into, some fitness, this one, and then we started having a regular fitness activities. So this one is like, I don't get into only one regime. So I keep on changing so that you are flexible, you're stronger, and you have a lot of, the energy or stamina or endurance. So I keep changing, it's not only running. Unfortunately, I got married and I have my daughter also. She's also little, towards fitness and arts, and she loves like arts and science, and arts like basically dancing. She was into dancing. So I also joined along with her a little bit of classical dance. So I also learned the classical dancing here. It is called Kuchipudi. So I have mix of everything, like the sports and then the classical dance, everything. That's how I'm trying to maintain my fitness levels. That's how my journey, of fitness with some breaks, and then I restarted my fitness program.
So, ma'am, based on your own journey of physical fitness, how does it change it for you when you're talking to your students about how they should be active, how they should be having this balance about being physically fit, personal life, professional life? What do you tell them? How do you guide them about this?
No, the studentship in our profession, you might be knowing, it's so difficult. We are occupied like 24/7, particularly during that residency days. And then we have so frequent night duties. So it's so exhaustive. So that's why we try to, motivate them. And then say that take out your time, even if you're busy, at least some time for your own personal things and try to maintain your fitness. In fact, I have started, taking them at least once a week on Sundays when everybody is free for these running and other physical activities. That's why we keep motivating them. And we make them, not only as an academician, but also as, because we are, as a doctor, we, try to convince our patient that they should be fit, they should take care of their own health. But somewhere, we somehow forget about our own health. So it is important that we also maintain fitness, our own health, before you speak to our patients.
Because you've had such a strong personal journey in fitness and exercise, do you think this has changed the way in which you treat your patients to promote physical activity for their health and well-being?
Yeah, definitely. Because we deal with the kidney patients. And when their kidney, when kidney is not working, they are fluid overloaded, their physical capacity, comes down, their heart weakens, and, it actually takes a toll on their the physical fitness, and then the mental this one also. Not only mental, it's all very costly affair. So getting a dialysis, alternate day throughout their lifetime, or for that matter, transplantation is also financial burden. The family, the backup, everything, the whole family get disturbed. So it's very important, we try to counsel them, not only with respect to the treatment which is available, but also the family members, the counseling, how the family members should take care. And particularly when they get into a stage of dialysis, so when they come and then they alternately come and go, and then the everything, it's being removed from their bodies, they get so fit, they feel that they are they are very weak and then fatigue. And on top of that, there's certain hormonal things which is going on, the vitamin D deficiency, bone become weak, and then they get into hyperthyroidism, where again there is risk of fracture and their muscles become weak. So and then they get, they also lose certain electrolytes like the potassium, the sodium, the potassium, the phosphate. So all these, the strength, the muscle and bones will get weakened. So this is the time where we not only tell them to take medications like vitamin D or some other drugs which will control their parathyroid level, but also to take care of various exercises. But their exercises should be like like not a very strenuous physical activity, but mild stretches or predominantly the yoga, because yoga, it can take care of their mental health as well as the physical health. So that's how we have recently we have hired, we have a department of Ayush, coming to us, and then telling our patients about how they should take care of their mental and the physical health also. In addition to the kidney and the dialysis part or whatever is medications part. So it's very important for them to understand, because psychologically they are so disturbed that it affects their physical the health also. So it's very important for them to balance the mental and physical, and we do counsel them, and we take care of particularly take the help of the yoga for their physical fitness.
And please talk about some myths and misconceptions that are out there in the society that you have to handle day in and day out.
So with respect to the kidney disease as such, like the diet, so diet, they take whatever they want. Particularly when whatever their health issues they have, they try to take Ayurvedic or the native medicines. That will actually affect their kidney. So usually when people feel that they have some issues with the kidney, they usually go to some native doctors, and then they get prescription of native medicines. That will in fact spoil their kidney more, and then they'll end up in getting into dialysis. So and then they should avoid all unnecessary over the medication counters like simple painkillers and all those things. That should be avoided to get rid of all these kidney diseases. And once they get into dialysis, they feel that they are not, their body is not fit to undergo exercise, or they are mentally not stable to have all this whatever is prescribed to them. So there are a lot of myths about the diet also. Diet, there's definitely they need to have a diet restriction, particularly in terms of the salt restriction. And another thing is protein. So depending upon the stages, we have different stages of kidney disease. Some they require high protein diet, and some require low protein diet. So that they should need you to understand what is the type of kidney disease and what is the diet they need to take. We prescribe a low protein diet for the patients who are in initial stages of kidney disease, because this will add on to a load on kidney, and then further will progress to a end stage renal failure. And then as the kidney disease progresses, we call end stage renal disease. There they require, particularly when patients are put on the dialysis, they require high protein diet. So they need to take high protein, they need to take animal protein, and during early stage they need to avoid the protein, particularly the animal protein. So this is what is required. And in transplantation, they need to, because they are using immunosuppression, so they are immune compromised. They are more prone for infections. They should be having a healthy diet, and then particularly, freshly prepared, and then plenty of water, and they should avoid all public places. So these are the precautions they should take care. With respect to exercise, of course, dialysis patients, because as I said, their vitamin D is at a lower level, they have hypoparathyroidism, and their electrolyte imbalance is there. Definitely, they'll have some, physical, incapacity to do the work, but that's not absolute contraindication. They should not feel that, they cannot do exercise. Recently, few of the articles have come up in, international journals called Kidney International. They have shown that while exercising during dialysis also, particularly the efficiency of dialysis increases, and their cardiac function also increases, and then the more the cardiac output, the dialysis would be better, and then their well-being will be better. So recently I have seen few articles coming up saying that exercise during dialysis also, particularly when patient is being monitored, patient is in hospital and the getting dialysis, patient is monitored with the help of the instructor or the mentor. They can be subject to dialysis at a staged manner, and then they can overall the health, not only the quality of dialysis will improve, the overall health also improves. And of course, transplantation, because they get back to a normal, they can do the exercise as per their capacity. But only thing is they should take care of the infections, because they are more prone for infection. They should not go out, particularly in public and gathering. they should take care of minimum basic hygiene, and they should they can do regular exercises.
Please could you comment on the role of strength training in patients with chronic kidney disease? Obviously, these patients suffer a lot from metabolic acidosis and associated muscle wasting. So can you comment on the role of strength training in preventing further muscle wasting in these patients?
So before they are advised, as I said, these are special group. They are not a general population. They are special group where they have electrolyte imbalance, they have hypophosphatemia, they have a hyperkalemia, they are hyponatremic, and their cardiac function is also like very poor. So when they do exercise, there are chances that they can go into certain cardiac arrhythmias, particularly the background of electrolyte imbalance, particularly strength exercises. So it's very important that they do exercises with the help of some instructor or the monitor. And strength training, it should be like a gradual. They should not like overnight or suddenly they get into some rigorous strength training exercise and they land up in different problems. It is not an absolute contraindication. As I said, recently they have been advised in a graded manner or a staged manner, where depending upon the capacity of the individual, and we need to regularly monitor the various parameters, including basically the cardiac activity and the electrolytes. Because particularly when they have hyperkalemia and when they are doing the the strength training exercise, there's chances that they go into more hyperkalemia and then they get into cardiac arrest, all those things. So it is, it's not absolute contraindicated, but then they should be, under supervision, particularly when they are beginning for the first time. That's the reason why it is advised that, you have a trainer during dialysis, so that, there's a lot of huge waiting time before and after, because every alternate days dialysis has to be done 4 hours. Like almost daily, alternate days patient is coming to the hospital, and then there is a waiting time. So when hospital, the machines may not be vacant to get connected, so they have to wait. So while on waiting for the dialysis, they can get a trainer, they can just warm up, and then they can train themselves. So that can be a better approach.
Anything, ma'am, that you could have missed out in this conversation and you wanted to talk about?
So fitness is very important part of your life, whatever is your profession. And unfortunately, doctors, though we talk about the fitness and then the health of the others, we do forget our own health. And particularly with the present in the Indian scenario, where every doctor is very busy seeing hundreds of patients, particularly in government setup. I work in a government setup institute where there's like every department, every doctor is overloaded. So basically, we need to think of our own health, and then we need to take care of time. And I can assure you, once you concentrate on your fitness at least few hours, half an hour a day daily, so your capability increases. You can focus and you can concentrate better, and your analysis, brain unfolds. So you can analyze your analysis power, whatever is, you become multitasking. So I can say my own experience, because I'm associated with so many things. Like I have one of my clinical challenges. I see patients not less than 100 per day, and then I have my own students. We have academic activities going on. I have this another additional responsibility of organ donation. That's actually a very challenging organ donation. It's very difficult. It's 100 persons. It's a teamwork. Everybody has to be on toes, and always it happens in the middle of in the odd hours. We never know when the brain death comes. And whenever there is a brain death, patient who is brain dead comes, and for the us to organize, convince the family members, arrange for the organ donation and call the recipients and then prepare the recipients and do the transplantation. The whole procedure goes on for not less than 48 hours, I can say. So simultaneously, when taking care of all these things, and then you have your own family, responsibilities, your husband, and child, taking care of all these things. Definitely, it will, improve your capacity, your focus, your concentration, your multitasking, everything. So if you can just spare half an hour, so you can definitely improve the rest of the quality of your work. So that is one thing I want to add, because I have seen my own colleagues, telling that they don't have time. So it's a myth, like time, I don't have time, I don't have, my body will not, cooperate, or my body is not suitable for exercise, or my age. Another thing is my age. So, I'm too old to start. It's nothing like age, so you can start, but, have a, staged manner. Don't overnight be enthusiastic and do it, and then next day collapse, and then you just, keep yourself away. So it should be a, staged manner, gradually. Try to start and then gradually pick up and then try to maintain that. So that's one thing, that's what I train my own students, academic training is one part, and then being fit so that you can be better, serve, you can serve better to your own profession. So that's the thing I just wanted to say to my own colleagues. And for my patients, I think, so kidney disease is like ever increasing. So as you can see, like kidney disease were lower in the list in the last few decades. Now the coming decades, I believe in 2040, it is supposed to be one of the top, the diseases in terms of mortality and morbidity. And once you get a kidney diseases, it is very, it's very costly affair, and the whole rest, it will stay with you for rest of your life. So, and gradually it increases, and you end up in, doing dialysis or transplantation. So prevention is the best. Okay, so prevention, how can you prevent to getting into kidney disease? Basic things like, healthy lifestyle. Everything boils down to, again, the healthy lifestyle, what you eat, what you drink, and what you do. So like eat, healthy diet. The fruit, include fruits and vegetables into your diet. And of course, the protein, you can have protein, but again, animal protein, you decide upon, animal protein is really harmful, and then you try to cut down your animal protein. And and then of course the exercise should be a part of your life, half an hour exercise. And it particularly depends upon your environment also. If you are working in outdoors and particularly someone is coming up, then you should take care of your proper hydration and avoid all unnecessary medications, whether it's native medicines, whether it's painkillers, or so try to avoid all unnecessary medications. So that's for my patients. And of course, dialysis and transplant, that's a specialized thing. So I don't want to make people apprehensive about dialysis and transplant. So prevention is the solution for everything. And the common regime for everything is fitness. And I've been reading articles, so many articles. As I said, protein. Now the latest is protein supplement can, cause the kidney diseases. And sedentary lifestyle, obesity is one which can cause kidney diseases. Now, what we have seen, if you are exercising too long, particularly for the runners, and because you are running continuously, your energy is getting exhausted, you are sweating your salt, and then you are losing your salt. So patients can go into hyponatremia. The salt, that's also I have seen in few of the specialized articles. Don't come across in general articles or newspapers, but in our specialized journals, Kidney International, we have done the international journals, Kidney International, all those things, that have stated that this electrolyte imbalance can be a major issue. So you need to, particularly when you're running for a long distance and you're exercising for, more than 1 hour. So better you take care of your, these salts, and don't get into a hyponatremia, and that will cause seizures, headache, and post-run complications. That is one thing which, particularly for the runners, we just wanted to, give one message.
Thank you for joining us on the podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you to everyone that's tuned into this episode. We hope you've enjoyed the content, and we'll bring you the next episode very soon.